What if I told you that over 2,000 years ago, a single building held the secrets to powered flight, steam engines, and a map of the entire human genome? What if all that knowledge, a treasure trove that could have fast-forwarded our civilization by 1,000 years, was lost forever? Welcome to the Bizarre Bureau. Today, we're not just exploring a place, but a ghost of memory of what humanity once was and what we could have been. We're talking about the Great Library of Alexandria. Imagine a city that was the New York, London, and Tokyo of its time all rolled into one. This was Alexandria, Egypt, founded by Alexander the Great himself. It was a melting pot of cultures, ideas, and ambitions. And at its very heart, beating like a magnificent drum, was the library. This wasn't just a place to borrow books. It was a revolutionary idea. The rulers of Egypt, the Ptolemies, aimed to collect all the knowledge in the world under one roof. Every single scroll from every single culture. Their methods were aggressive. Any ship that docked in Alexandria's harbor was searched. If a book was found, it was seized, taken to the library, and meticulously copied. The original was kept, and the copy was returned to the owner. Imagine that! A government so obsessed with knowledge, they legally pirated books for the public good. They sent agents across the known world, from Athens to India, with bottomless budgets to acquire texts on philosophy, astronomy, mathematics, medicine, poetry, and history. The collection grew to an estimated 500,000 scrolls, a staggering number for the ancient world. The library was part of a larger research institution called the Museum, or Shrine of the Muses. It was the world's first true university. The greatest minds of the age were invited to live and work there, all expenses paid. Think of it as an ancient Google campus, but instead of programmers, you had geniuses like Archimedes, the father of engineering, Eratosthenes, who calculated the circumference of the earth with astonishing accuracy, and Euclid, whose book Elements is still the basis for geometry taught in schools today. These scholars weren't just storing knowledge. They were creating it. Hero of Alexandria, for example, invented a primitive steam engine, the Aeolipile, nearly 2,000 years before James Watt. He created automatic doors, vending machines that dispense holy water, and a fire engine. Can you imagine a Roman Empire with steam-powered chariots or automated temples? That world was within their grasp. In medicine, doctors like Herophilus and Erasistratus were performing dissections, mapping the nervous system, and understanding the function of the heart and brain in ways that would not be rediscovered until the Renaissance. The astronomers of Alexandria were no less brilliant. Aristarchus of Samos proposed that the Earth revolved around the Sun, a heliocentric model of the solar system, 1,800 years before Copernicus. His work was preserved in the library, but largely ignored by the rest of the world after it vanished. They charted the stars with incredible precision, created calendars, and understood celestial mechanics that Europe would struggle to relearn centuries later. So, what happened? How did this beacon of human intellect go dark? The story is far more complex and tragic than a single dramatic fire. The library's decline wasn't an event. It was a process, a slow death by 1,000 cuts. The first major blow came in 48 BC. Julius Caesar, entangled in an Egyptian civil war, set fire to his own ships in the harbor to block an enemy fleet. The flames, tragically, spread to the city and reached a warehouse near the docks where many library scrolls were stored. This wasn't the main library building, but it was a devastating loss. Tens of thousands of scrolls turned to ash, a sign of things to come. But the library survived, wounded but still functioning. The real decline began with political instability. Later, Roman emperors saw the intellectualism of Alexandria as a threat. Scholars were persecuted, funding was cut, and the spirit of open inquiry began to fade. The city became a hotbed of religious and political conflict. Mobs driven by zealotry and ignorance roamed the streets. In 391 AD, the Roman Emperor Theodosius I, a fervent Christian, ordered the destruction of all pagan temples throughout the empire. The Serapeum, a daughter library of the main institution and a magnificent temple, was targeted. A Christian mob led by the Patriarch of Alexandria stormed the Serapeum and obliterated it, along with its priceless collection of scrolls. This was perhaps the most catastrophic, deliberate act of destruction. It was an act of cultural annihilation, wiping out knowledge deemed heretical or pagan. By the time of the final Arab conquest in 642 AD, what was left of the once great library was likely a shadow of its former self-scattered collections, neglected archives. The romantic tale of a caliph ordering the scrolls to be used as fuel for bathhouses is likely a myth, but it speaks to the ultimate tragedy. The knowledge had already been lost. The flame had already gone out, long before the final ashes cooled. So, what did we actually lose? It's almost impossible to comprehend. We lost thousands of plays by Greek masters like Sophocles and Euripides. We only have a fraction of their work. We lost untold histories, including a 30-volume history of Egypt by the priest Manetho, which would have given us a perfect timeline of the pharaohs. We lost medical texts that could have saved millions of lives throughout the Dark Ages. We lost engineering plans that could have sparked an industrial revolution 2 millennia early. We lost more than just scrolls. We lost a mindset. The Library of Alexandria represented a belief in universal knowledge, in the idea that learning should be collected, shared, and built upon. Its destruction wasn't just a loss of data. It was the victory of dogma over inquiry, of ignorance over intellect. It plunged the Western world into a period of relative stagnation, forcing future generations to painstakingly rediscover what the ancients already knew. The story of the library is a haunting cautionary tale. It reminds us that knowledge is fragile and that progress is not guaranteed. It shows us how quickly societies can turn against the very minds that seek to enlighten them. Today, we have our own digital library of Alexandria, the internet. It holds a vaster collection of knowledge than the Ptolemies could ever have dreamed of. But it is also vulnerable to misinformation, censorship, and the same kind of intolerance that brought down its ancient predecessor. The legacy of the library is a call to action, to protect our institutions of learning, to champion curiosity, and to never ever take knowledge for granted. Because once it's gone, the darkness that follows can last for a very long time. Thank you for joining us at the Bizarre Bureau. What piece of lost knowledge do you wish we could recover from the ashes of Alexandria? Let me know in the comments below. If you found this journey into the past intriguing, don't forget to subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more explorations into the strange and forgotten corners of our history. Until next time, stay curious.